hell? I have absolutely nothing to report today. The Mugunghwa Flower Festival is still utterly boring, and I still do not enjoy the celebrations. The plaza was peaceful, 0 arrests were needed, and decreased security presence shipwide has led to no negative ramifications. My cool boss still makes me write these things, even if nothing of note happens, though, so here I am, filling up space out of boredom. I've noticed that Mute has updated her appearance again recently. There's a lot more silver hair mixed in with her blonde, and she's been wearing it short, and I'm really enjoying her new suits that seem to be all about narrow-waisted vests instead of jackets. It fits a strong silhouette, and it feels really intimidating. I'm so happy to see her dressed like that. And the fashion lately has been for women to wear long dresses and seem less imposing. She's usually done the opposite. Oh, that sounds like a good outfit. I approve. I think she's the most gorgeous she's ever looked, gray hair and all. I mean, I always feel outclassed by her. I know she's got 1,600 years on me, but I'm glad she's starting to look older at the same time I'm feeling it. I wonder how often she changes her visual age. Regardless, she makes it look so good. She's been doing this thing lately where she'll light a cigarette by snapping her fingers and blow smoke at dramatic moments and say something like, "Just watch me," and it's enough to make even the coolest of people's hearts skip a beat. Skip a beat, huh? And that is my report for today. Do not ever do this again, Seo Young. It is embarrassing on every level and not the point of daily reports. Or I will replace you with a large potted houseplant if you ever turn in a report this unprofessional again, okay? Wow, this boy swears so much. Heo Seung-bok was a young security officer. Heo Seo Young was his aunt. I don't really get it, but he kind of swore a lot. I am so sick of spending time with my extended family. I don't think I've ever met a single person who thinks these Heo family gatherings are any fun. Everyone I've talked to seems to secretly hate them, every single one, but we all pretend to care and take interest in how every random, unimportant cousin has been doing, and who's just got married, and who fucking cares about it all. This time, someone apparently paid serious money to hire an entire troupe of actors to perform short scenes in the living room, which at least shut down the conversation. Unfortunately, the performances were complete shit. I needed to get away and slipped out between sets under the pretense of trying to find the washroom, in the hopes of falling in and therefore having an excuse for not being around. Instead, while I was wandering the halls of the main branch's absurdly large home, I ended up stumbling on the weirdest scene, a table with a card game in progress, with an old professor of mine at one end, and a mostly naked, flat-chested maid sitting on strewn-about clothes. Sorry, I was, looking for the washroom," I said sheepishly, and started to turn to back away. It wasn't even like the door was closed. I wasn't trying to sneak in anywhere. They were just there for anyone in the hall to see. "Wait, don't go, cute boy," the maid called out. "Do you want to play Huatu? We could really use a third." Is that okay?" I asked, looking at the professor, terrified that I had interrupted him in a moment. Then I remembered the last time I'd visited their home looking for his wife, the chief security officer. And now he was indisposed then, too. That was a weird fucking night. Wait, what did she say? I don't remember. "Yes, if you have the silver to play for," he said with a shrug. It really did seem like he didn't care. Sure," I said. Even then, I got the feeling I was about to be hustled, but whatever. Anything to escape the family. "I hear that," he said, bloody in-laws. I'm a Heo too," I said, that introduced myself. "You're Professor Kim, right? I had you in an Earth history class." "Let me guess, first year, you and every other officer in your family," he said. "Go ahead and deal, Mimi." Wow. I can't really give a play-by-play of the game itself. I don't really remember that well. It probably didn't help that after putting our silvers for the stakes, Mimi kept pouring me more and more to drink. "That's a really unusual name. Is that your real one?" I asked the maid. "Nope," was the only response. I kept trying not to stare, and it wasn't working. Maybe that's what the nudity was for. To win at cards by means of seduction. I mean, man, it sure worked. It was pretty hard to not get caught up thinking about how soft that bare skin would feel against my hands, and instead worrying about my hand in the game. It was also losing me a rapid number of points. At first I didn't realize just how badly I was doing because I assumed the real threat was the professor, and he always seemed to be at the same point I was, and Mimi was only whittling us down very slowly, never calling go no matter how big the lead was. The next thing I knew, we were both out. "Oh wow, I won!" Mimi exclaimed with a girlish giggle. "I feel like I'm on a roll. How about another but with higher stakes? A 5 silver per point? and that was the hustle. No bloody way, I know what I'm done, the professor said. I'm seeing this one out. I'd be lying if I said the reason why I went in wasn't simply because I was attracted and wanted to spend more time with Mimi. I mean, I figured I'd be able to make back my money because I couldn't really take that giggling very seriously, but mostly it was attraction. It ended pretty quickly. 3 rounds in, I had arrogantly raised the stakes, then promptly got utterly swept with a single play that took my opponent from 0 points to having more than enough to wipe me out, twice. Go or stop, I asked. Stop. That, puts me in an awkward position, I explained. If you do that, you'll win, and I'll be out. I don't have anything more in my purse. I'm having a lot of fun playing with you, so if you say go, we can take another few rounds. Nope, stop, was the response, followed by a cutesy head tilt. Then I watched as my money got swept off the table. I'm not playing for fun, I'm playing for money. You're vicious, I teased. I have to be, Mimi explained. I've got tutors for my entrance exams to pay for, and I am but a poor little thing. The last word was dragged out. It was a little bit too cutesy. Tutors? The exams aren't that hard, I said. Huh, and when did you take them? 40-30? The professor scoffed. 37. I'm not that old, I said. So even then they were using Chinese characters. That's so stupid. Well, they were a lot easier then. Anyone could get in. How many Chinese characters do you know, kid? He asked, rolling his eyes at me. I thought back to school. He was actually my least favorite professor. I thought he was pretty obnoxious. I don't know, not many, I admitted. Yeah, right. Nowadays you need to know 1,000 in order to get in. Mind you, you'll have trouble in a lot of classics classes if that's all you know, but it's the bare minimum, he told me. Holy shit, I said. Yeah, well, that's what's important nowadays, he said. How's that? I couldn't imagine why. Don't ask me, he said. I'm a history professor. It's way out of my bloody field. I don't care about Confucius. If I had it my way, it'd still be like it was before. I see, I said. Hence all the tutors, Mimi said, pouring me another drink. Hey, how about another game? I think he's had enough to drink, the professor said. In retrospect, he was probably absolutely right. I'm fine, I can handle it, I said, absolutely wrong. I'm in security. We drink pretty fucking hard. So my wife keeps complaining, he responded. Fine, if we're in the stupid part of the evening, I'll leave you two to it. Have fun, kids, he turned to look at Mimi. I mean, I'm going to go find the maid you swindled that uniform from, since half the work's done for me. Give it back when you're done. Yes, sir, Mimi responded. Oh, that completely went over my fucking head at the time, on account of the drinking. I just realized right now, the joke was that Mimi had stolen the maid's clothes, and their rightful owner was presumably naked somewhere. Holy fucking yikes, man. I totally did not get that at the time. Anyway, then I was alone, for which I was kinda glad, because it gave me the chance to get closer. So another game? Mimi asked. My purse is empty, I've got nothing, I said. Play just for fun? I only play for keeps. How about I loan you back the 600 silver you just lost? Even I could tell this was a bad idea at this point. Too bad my dick couldn't. And it was what was making decisions for me at that point. I'll need to take something as collateral. What? I asked far too quickly. Ah, jeez, what is he saying? A kiss, me, he responded, smiling coyly at me, a finger against the lips. I was wrapped around that finger at this point. To make a long story short, I naturally agreed, and the kiss that was taken from me was amazing. You know, the kind that makes you want more and more and frustrates you? That was the point, I have no doubt. It fucking well worked. I didn't want to win back my money. That was just money. I wanted to win Mimi. It's cute in a way, I suppose. Is this how adults are? I don't know. Anyway, I sure didn't win back the money. I was cleaned out in 10 minutes. Well, I'm off, Mimi said, starting to pull the string clothes into something more proper-like. Wait, I said, not actually having a follow-through. I just stared for a moment, trying to think of something. How am I going to pay you back? Hey, Songbuck, I'm sure I can find you. How about I pay you a dinner sometime, I asked. Mimi laughed. Cute boy, you know I'm not a girl, right? He asked. They're both boys, wow. Do you think I would have let you kiss me if you were, I asked. I thought it was the coolest fucking line at the time. It wasn't. Truly, but definitely not fucking cool. Or true. You're funny, he said. I'll see you around. I sure hope so. After he left, I stumbled back out to the main party, thankfully to discover that the actors were done, and that there was now food to be had, which I sure needed. I really couldn't get that card-hustling boy and the sight of his really gorgeous body and that kiss out of my head. Still can't. Eventually, the family members just stopped bothering me because I was pretty clearly spaced out by thinking of him. I only felt a little bit bad. If I'm going to get played, man, it could be a lot worse than by someone like that. A lot worse. Damn, I sure hope I see him again. Pardon, can we talk? Yeah, sure, what's up? We've been reading together for a while, haven't we? Let's take a break. Are you up to that? Sure. Ah, great. So, right. This is sort of something that's been on my mind lately, the idea of having a body. I always thought when I was alive and sick that I'd love to be free of it, that it'd be great to be free of all its stupid fragility. Then I spent 600 years alone in my own mind, and I feel so isolated. I mean, I have a computer simulation of arms and legs and a face, so I don't go mad, but it's been so nice interacting with you, and I just feel like I just really miss touch, especially while reading about things like Heo Seo-young going on fancy political dinners. I mean, you travel alone, so you have a little bit of an idea. Don't you ever feel really strongly sometimes that you just want a nice hug? Sometimes, I guess. I thought so. I really want to hug you too. I wish I could. Do you think it would be possible for me to get a body on Earth? It's possible. Ah, that's a relief. That would be so nice to have. I just keep thinking I don't even remember what it feels like anymore. I don't remember touch at all. Or smell. I just remembered smell's a thing that exists. I totally forgot. Wow. I'd really like to smell flowers. That'd be good. Flowers are supposed to smell nice, right? They do. Unless you're allergic. Ah, I knew it. I just think it might be fun to see flowers and be able to pick them and hold them, maybe even feel what it's like to have one in my hair. I wonder what would it be like to have hair again. Could it be blown in the wind? Would it be fluffy? It makes me think of Ryu Jaehua, my husband's wife. She'd comfort me and brush my hair. But when I try to think about it, I just don't remember what it felt like to be touched like that. I really want to, though. I don't want to be stuck behind a computer screen forever. I want to remember what it's like to be touched. Okay, I'm taking a break. Okay, break's over. Alright, so we need 3 more from M1. It's our diagnostic. Alright, good. Do all boys swear so much? Yeah. Fuck everything. Hangovers suck. All told, I spent a lot more on that dinner than the 600 silver that I owe Mimi. There goes my whole first fucking paycheck after my big promotion. Totally worth it. It took an obnoxiously long time to actually track him down, even after I worked up the guts for it. It turns out I was a lot braver with him, while not sober. But even after working it up and asking Professor Kim to get in touch with him, Mimi was a man who was really good at playing cards. He sounds really dreamy. Yeah, he looks really dreamy too. Professor Kim was Heo Seong's husband. He seemed to have a close relationship with the housemaids. I never heard a word back from that boy. After a few months, eventually I gave up. Then suddenly, near the end of my last shift of the week during doing patrols at the plaza, I ran into him, or more like he ran into me, knocked me right over onto my ass. I was about to curse him out, but then he offered me his hand, and I realized who it was. "Sorry, come on, hurry up," he said, helping me to my feet. Then suddenly started to run, still holding my hand. What's going on? I had no choice but to follow him. I didn't want to let go and miss my chance. We spent a good minute darting through corridors and between shops, and even took a shortcut through a tea house that was definitely the kind of shit I'd normally give someone a citation for. Anyway, eventually we stopped to catch our breath, and he explained that he was running away from a couple of men who were angry at him because he'd cleaned them out gambling. I checked the time, officially off the clock. Let me make it up to you. Buy you dinner, I said. In a perfect world where I'm actually as charming as he is, and don't choke on my words in front of a pretty face. I'm not even going to write down what I actually said. I'm hoping by the time I read this again, I'll have forgotten entirely. And, well, that sure was wishful thinking. Aw, poor thing. Take me to Golden House, then, he said with a lilt to his voice. I don't think I can afford that, I tried to protest. Sure you can, and you owe me big time, he said. After more back and forth of that, I relented. I pretty much had to. Fine, I'll take you to Golden House, but only because it'll clear my debt, I said. And because, honestly, I did want to impress him deep down. Deep down. I did want to impress him. The thing I wrote before sounds way more dirty than I meant. Me, I'm no good with words. Anyways. Western food, I missed that. I took him there, and while I don't really know much about Western-style food, it seemed pretty good to me. Just kept ordering more wine for the both of us. That's enough. That's the last one, I kept arguing, but then each time he'd clasp my hands and say, "It's not paid off yet." He could have said anything, really. My memory is kind of fuzzy on what I said to him, on account of all the wine. The important part was that I was trying very, very hard to impress him. So I got a promotion recently, I said, telling him all about how I was up on the rise and that my family promised that in a few years I'd surely make it into a really important position, maybe even guard detail for the council. And that turned out he didn't really know how prestigious this sort of position is anyway. So I've been learning some Chinese characters lately, I said, telling him that we totally did have something in common after all. I may have left out the part where I've been having a hell of a time of it, and my tutor keeps giving me shit for not even half understanding how grammar is supposed to work. Honestly, it's all beyond me, even if everyone says it's necessary to be functionally literate nowadays. I don't know how the fuck anyone can be. But even leaving that out, he wasn't impressed. So much swearing. Oh, get over yourself, Yunei. I was about to order another round for us myself, but he stopped me. You've had enough, Mr. Security Officer, he said, grinning. Let's get out of here while you can still stand. I'll walk you home, I offered after paying. As we staggered out of the door, he had to catch me. What an embarrassment. Oh, dear boy, I'll walk you home, he said, having to hold me up to keep me steady. I don't know what I would have done without him there, even just walking the 5 minutes from the rail station to my home, but we got there, thankfully. That was fun, I told him from my open doorway. I'd like to do it again. You're kidding, right? I don't want to date you, he said, my heart sunk. I felt totally horrified and shitty. For the 3 seconds it took until he grabbed me by the collar, pulled me to his face, and kissed me. And not lightly either. I want you to invite me in. Whoa. I don't remember what happened between the doorway and my bedroom. I guess he must have managed to sneak past my father and his dramas and gotten a bottle of much cheaper wine without it being too weird. Somehow, I guess. The rest I'm pretty sure I'm going to remember vividly. Heo Seung-young's brother, security officer, was also Heo Seung-bok's father. Yeah. I shouldn't describe the whole thing, but man, hottest moment, he's sitting on the edge of my bed naked, and man, I've never seen anyone look more comfortable without clothes in my life. And I'm on the floor on my knees, you know, right where I want to be. Aw, snap! Forgetting some sexy shit right here. Give me another drink, I tell him, raising my empty wine glass. He gets this totally wicked grin, and then suddenly squats the glass out of my hand, and in the same gesture, grabs me by the hair. Drink your fill then, he says, pulling my head right in. It's like some lame evening drama level shit coming from anyone else in the world, but man, fuck me if I wasn't all kinds of turned on by it. Anyway, I woke up with him prying himself out of my arms and the worst fucking hangover in the world. I had to force my eyes open, and it took me a whole minute to sit up straight. Hey, I mumbled. Are you going already? Stick around. Sorry, but I have to go, he said, typing something into my computer screen. I'll make you breakfast, I offered. He just laughed. No, you won't. You're a spoiled little rich noble boy, he said, wagging his finger at me. You don't even know how. You'll scare me to do it. No thanks. I wondered if I'd ever see him again. I never had a one-night stand before. I don't want to, ever. I'm sure they're not something I can deal with at all, and goddamn if that boy didn't do a great job at weighing heavily on my mind. Well, maybe that wouldn't be so bad. Then I realized that the clothes he was putting on seemed way too baggy for his skinny body. I rubbed my eyes. Those are actually my clothes, I said. Yeah, I know, he responded, not stopping. I just kind of stammered, not really sure how to respond to that. Go back to bed, Mr. Scruffy Officer. You really need it, he taunted me. If you want your clothes back, come pick them up from the address I put in your computer. Then he waved and walked out. I was still way too groggy to follow. What a weird relationship, but sort of romantic. But oh man, I'm still excited. He doesn't want to see me. He does want to see me again. I'm so glad. I mean, honestly, the hangover is still killing me, and holy shit, I can't believe I spent that much money at a restaurant. But oh well, who cares? Totally worth it. Aw, that is romantic. Bayu, you, and the mirror. Again, with all the swearing. Oh my god, woman, get over it! We're starting a complicated relationship with a boy named Mimi. Mimi was a man in a complicated relationship with Hayasu Buck. It seems kind of romantic. I knew that boy was cruel, but man, I didn't realize just how bad he was. What a fucker. So this happened last weekend. I went over to his family's place in the plaza at midday. The front area was all but empty. I think there may have been a customer or two that time, but only the sort who were actually there for food. I don't know why. The food is awful. Hey, I'm going into the back to see him, I said to Mimi's mother, who was behind the counter. Fuck off, the cranky old crone said. Sure thing, I said. I don't really bother arguing with her because who cares? At the end of the day, I've still taken her son as a lover. That's his reason, by the way, not mine. I would have just said I was banging him, but he told me, I like the sound of taking so-and-so as a lover. I want to be taken as a lover. Taken. That's the kind of possessiveness I like the sound of. I don't really think the idea of being taken is as romantic as he says. I don't really get it, and also, I don't really think anyone would believe that I'm the one doing the taking. Sure, I'm taller and manlier than noble, but he is a domineering little man in comparison to me. But if he says he likes something, then I'll do it. So he's been taken by me as a lover. Anyway, so I walked into the perfectly legal, friendly gambling room in the back. He wasn't playing. He was studying at the computer, which isn't really weird or anything, but he seemed to be studying together with some other man, which surprised me. I mean, I wasn't jealous or anything. Well, fine, maybe a little. I mean, he does flirt with a lot of men and women, but I don't care about that. Because he's trying to get money out of them, but I know I'm special. I just hope that I'm special. Honestly, though, I was mostly just surprised at that point. The flirting with other men is only while playing cards, and studying together is our thing. I said hi to Mimi. He turns around to wave at me. And the other guy turns around, and look, this is important, I swear. He looks just like me. It's fucking uncanny, okay? Wow, weird. Studying hard, I asked Mimi? Still classic literature. The one you said last week was so easy when you did it, he said, affecting a pout. It was cute, although I was worried, rightly, that I had actually hurt his feelings. I've been really struggling, so I'm taking a break from gambling to dedicate myself to my studies. In retrospect, the idea of him taking a break from gambling should have been the giveaway, but I'm dumb apparently. He's been doing pretty well, though. I'm proud of him, his friend said. Want to take a break to go out for dinner? I offered. You're welcome to come too. I trailed off. Sorry, I don't think I caught your name. You two don't know each other already. I would have thought, since you're both, Mimi said, surprised. Huh? Both what? I asked, confused. You're both from the Hale family, he said. You've really never met? No, I said, earnestly surprised. I stared, trying to figure out if I'd seen him before, but I couldn't remember seeing him at any family gatherings. It didn't really mean a whole lot, though, because seriously, fuck Hale family gatherings. I paid as little attention as I possibly can to them. I don't think I could name half my cousins, truthfully. Were you at the last family gathering? I wasn't, unfortunately. I was ill, he said. Fair enough. Huh, really? But I'm Heo's son Buck. It's nice to meet you. What's your name? My jaw dropped. Huh? I'm Sung Bak. What's your name? He repeated. It's also Sung Bak, I stammered. Nice to meet you. Anyway, boy, I can't do dinner tonight. Too poor. We could eat out in front, though, Mimi suggested, meaning his mother's restaurant, which is basically worse than dying. Thinking about it right now, maybe it's not actually shit food. Maybe she just has it out for me. Man, fuck, that's totally it, isn't it? Anyway, it didn't seem like a good idea. I'll cover it, don't worry about it, I insisted. For both of you, let's just get out of here. Well, fine, Mimi shrugged. We went to the place across from his, which is decent enough. So you are also in security? I asked the other Sing Buck. Yes, of course, he said. I'm the second lieutenant of Deck 10. Actually, yourself? This is really... I felt really humbled being way the fuck outright by this guy. Just a lowly officer at the plaza, sir. Oh, there's no need to sir me, he smiled. Are you alright? You're staring. Mimi laughed, prodding at me from under the table. I'm fine, just a little surprised is all, I lied. Honestly, it was kind of freaking me the fuck out. We talked more, even after we'd finished dinner, and frankly, I just got more and more alarmed by how much we had in common past the whole name thing. I mean, the name thing was weird. Neither of the characters in mine are really common at all. And it turned out he even wrote them the same way as mine. And he ordered the same food as me right before I did, and was the same age, which made me feel pretty shitty about my own accomplishments, let me tell you. Men or women? I asked. Oh, women, he answered. Definitely women. Well, finally, there's a difference, I said exasperatedly. Ahem, Mimi cleared his throat conspicuously. Well, except for him. He's cute enough that anyone could make an exception for him, the other Sang-bok said, looking at him. I was thinking that maybe studying together with Sang-bok could be a regular thing, Mimi said, blinking flirty eyes, not in my direction. I'd like to get through Dream of the Red Chamber together with him, at the very least since he's read it. So have I stammered awkwardly, trying to fight for his attention because I'm an idiot. Well, we've gotten to chapter XX together, where Bao Yu sleeps in front of the mirror, remember? Mimi smiled. Besides, don't you think it would be nice, me being together with Sang-bok and Sang-bok? What? And Sang-bok? It wouldn't have to take up so much of your time, so you could focus more on exams so you could get promoted. I just gaped in horror at his proposal, as if he could fucking suggest such an awful thing. I wanted to spend more time with him, not less. And it was just... fuck, the thought that I was basically replaceable in his eyes? I'd been worried about that in a relationship, that I was just some interchangeable noble in his eyes, and this was just making that all worse. I really don't think, that's just kind of... I stammered something like that. I can't remember the exact wording. Mimi, I don't want to be replaced with some mere version of me, that's... And then I stopped mid-sentence. Do you think he's figured it out yet? The mirror Sang-bok asked him, trying to stifle laughter. I can't keep this up anymore. I told you he hadn't read it, Mimi said enthusiastically. You're fucking with me, I finally said. A little, Mimi said. Come on, Dream of the Red Chamber. You were supposed to have studied literature as part of becoming an officer, the mirror Sang-bok said to me, suddenly switching to a lot less stilted voice. You don't remember the part where Bao Yu meets the other Bao Yu? The thing we spent the past hour reenacting? Oh, I thought it seemed unbelievable. I was never really good with classical literature, I admitted. See, I'm right, aren't I, Mimi asked, looking at the mirror Sang-bok expectantly. Well, alright, fine, Mimi, he said, reaching into his purse and putting down money on the table. Like I said before, of course it couldn't be true that Mimi was taking a break from gambling. Who's a giant fucking idiot? This guy. I cracked up before you figured it out. You win, I'm speechless. Then he said goodbye and left. Fucking hell, I can't believe he did that to me, I yelled at him, honestly upset. Mimi, you giant fucking cock. He really swears to us so much. Mimi got up and came over to my side of the table, sitting next to me. Well, you're an idiot for believing it, he said, wrapping his arm around my shoulder. I was just upset at him, but I have a hard time saying no to physical comfort from him, even when I think he's an asshole. Then he looked at me very slowly and intensely and said, There's no such thing as mirror versions of someone. There's no such thing as someone out there who is like you, except more desirable. You're special to me, and I can't believe you're actually stupid enough to think that I could find any way to replace you at all. I don't get the relation at all. There's no such thing as someone who I'd love in the way I'd love you. Am I perfectly clear? Yeah, I croaked. I felt pretty humbled and touched. Still upset, but mostly touched. He was sweet in his own awful way. If you're not too mad at me, I'm going to kiss you now, and it's going to make me really happy because you're special and have a good taste and are someone I love. He said, leaning close. If that's alright with you. Yeah, it is, Arlequin said. Cool fucker. He got engaged to a woman? This is such long text. Dear Sang-bok. I know you think I'm an error untranslatable, but please, just at least hear me out. If I have to beg, I'll beg, but just please, after all the good times we shared together, I think I deserve to be heard. I wish you could understand. She's just a woman. I'm sorry, you're absolutely right. I was wrong to not tell you about the engagement sooner. What was I supposed to do about it? I didn't have any effective choice in the matter. It's about money, Sang-bok. I promise, it's only about money. Getting by on gambling can only go so far, and with all the morality crackdowns as of late, it's not sustainable. You should know that as well as anyone working in security. If it was just me that was poor, it would be fine, but my family... Well, we need a dowry, and yes, we're going to have a child together, but only for the money. It's just for the motherhood credit. Do you really think I'm the sort of person who'd enjoy being married to a woman? That's really cruel to her. I bet she didn't want to either. Besides, she needs it too. I don't love her and never will. because she's not my cute security boy. I'm just taking pity on a poor woman whose family can't afford to support her anymore. And please, honestly, you've seen what she looks like. If I don't take her in, who would? What an asshole. She's not a threat to you. I realize intent isn't what's important, so still, I'm sorry that I've managed to hurt you like I have. I was thoughtless to not consider your feelings, but it doesn't mean we still can't be together, if you can forgive me. I always tried to be very cool when I was with you, but I just can't do it now. You mean so much to me, and my life is so much better with you in it. I know I'm married to a woman now, but the only space in my bed and my heart is for you, cute boy. Please forgive me. Please, 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 please. I'm just so sorry to have hurt you, and I just want to make it right. If I have to suffer then, fine, I deserve it. But I know you're hurting too. I just want to make it right. Love, painfully, Mimi. Oh. Oh, we're 3 days away from Earth. I guess we have one more message we can extract. Let's start with block 2. We have more we can extract? Okay. Oh wow, she writes really cutely.